Good evening, folks. How is everyone today? And we have Rod and Megan.
Hello, everyone. Happy Thursday.
So, as y'all notice, I have a new wall with nothing on it. I got to get my pictures hung up, Megan. That's a big job.
I know. Although I don't mind the green.
Yeah. I got the light working.
I could do something better too. We'll
Yeah.
work on that this year.
Maybe I'll do a mural. Maybe not me.
I like that idea.
All righty. So, who has joined us? Please, who most people have not, please introduce yourself in the chat. Just tell us where you're from. Kevin, Mary, how are you guys? And Colin, good to hear from you. Hey, Matt, Maria, Ruth, and Harvey from Gorgona. You know, Ruth and Harvey are in Gorgona now, Megan?
I think I did know that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Welcome back, guys.
Ron and Laura from Ottawa, you guys. Mark and Tina. Brad and Kathy from Pennsylvania. Do you know anyone from Pennsylvania?
A lot of people. Actually, Brad and Kathy are going to be back in March. I was just talking to them today.
Yeah. Hey, Gary, we're happy to have you in March. Jan Brown from Hollywood, Florida. Chris and Miriam, Toronto. Lisa's doing a scouting mission. Good for you, Lisa. Oh, Matt, another March. Hi, Lisa. And it's the Chemples from Boquete. You headed down to the Flower Festival yet, Ellen? I guess it just kind of got going today.
Yeah, last night that was the big inauguration. It was going all night. I heard the music. Yep.
Judy from Baltimore and Ted. Oh, now everyone's saying hello, hello. Hey, Melanie on YouTube. Hello, all. Look at all the YouTube people. And we're streaming all over Facebook now, too. So we're going to get started. It's 1 minute after. And leave. Okay, everyone just introduce themselves. So, Ellen, Belinda, hey, how are you guys? Carter,
Got lots
good.
of Pennsylvanians in here.
Yeah. Lisa, Tina. John, Tracy, Sylvia, Danny, and Joyce from Boquete. I know, Alan, Belinda, artwork's got to go back up. It's still in boxes. Hey, Jay, you just got here. So did everyone else. We're going to be starting to ask questions very shortly. You can type your questions in the chat, or if you want to come live in the studio where you need to share your camera and microphone, just type the word live in the chat, and we will bring you on. Jim is here. He's in the Witness Protection Program, so I'm sure that's not your real name, Jim. Okay. All right. So it's Megan and me tonight. Oscar is in his home country of Colombia. He gets back in a couple days. And we're rolling with tours this year.
Yep. Kicking off our first January tour on Monday.
Yeah.
Right here in Boquete.
From this point forward, guys, we asked you to put your questions in the chat. Only chat's not for having conversations or answering questions. It's for asking questions. So I don't know why all these other links have come up, but those are our websites. That happened by automatically. So ask your question. Oh, that's why. Yes. Ask your questions live. Hey, Noah. What's up, buddy? Achoo. You still have to choose?
We're all getting over the flu. That's why we're not at Rod's infecting
Yeah,
you.
that's why they're not infecting me. Perfect. Okay. Megan, do you want to do a quick introduction?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I'm Megan. I'm originally from Pennsylvania. I came to Panama in 2018 with the Peace Corps originally. Now live in Boquete most of the time since I guess end of 2019, 2018, 2019, I was in rural communities with the Peace Corps doing different development projects and learning a lot about the country. And then I met Oscar, my husband, who you see up on the screen there, and he's worked in tourism for decades now. And Rod and him were just officially launching Retire in Panama as you know it today as the group tour. So they said, come try this out with us, and I absolutely loved learning about the relocation communities here. I had no idea that Panama was one of the top places for North Americans to retire to. So I got to learn about that whole side of Panama, and now I get to blend those two sides, the local cultural Spanish side that I fell in love with when I first moved here, and also the really diverse communities that are the most popular expats communities here that are not just North Americans and Panamanians, but people from all over the world. And now I spend most of my time in Boquete. I have this guy, my 3-year-old. So we're raising kids here, but we're also helping all sorts of different expats move here. And if you come on our 7-day tour or our 3-day tour, or you get our Panama Total Access Pass, I'll be working with you a lot to make sure that you're ready for your trip and ready for your move. And of course, love to meet you when you're here on tour as well.
All right. My name is Rod Larrabee. I'm from Vancouver, Canada. Been here just over 14 years. I came here, I packed my bags, one-way ticket, arrived here, knew absolutely nothing and nobody, and within 3 months I was in all a heap of trouble. Um, I won't go into all the details, but I needed help because I wasn't getting it, and I had some really screwed up things with my vehicle not in my name, with a lawyer wanting $40,000, and it goes on and on. Well, I met Oscar. I was told. I asked around, and the only referral people would give me is Oscar Pena. Oscar Pena. He's that guy you saw at the top of the screen here, Megan's now husband. So that was 14 years ago, and Oscar was already helping expats move to Panama. So he was the relocation expert. And within a few weeks, he got me all straight away. He got everything fixed up that was screwed up with my vehicle. Got me started with the immigration lawyer, which was 1/10 of the cost. Got me driver's license, and just one thing after another. Anything I needed, he handled. Within a year, we were business partners. We opened a small tour company in Boquete. But what we found out, people kept walking in our door, expats, and asking for help because they something happened that they weren't expecting, or they were didn't know how to do this and didn't know how to do that. And so we did that for a few years, and we helped expats on a one-on-one basis, did private tours. And then in 2017, Oscar and I decided, let's stop putting out fires and start getting people to do this right. And we started this company, Small Group Tours. And we have a maximum of 16 people in our tours. It's the three of us, the three owners, Oscar, Megan, and myself, that run these tours. We all live here in Panama. We answer the phones in Panama. We do the emails. And together, the three of us have well over 30 years experience helping expats move here. And we started recently this year. A lot of people didn't want to take a tour. They've been here before. Maybe they came on with another company. They wanted something different. So we offered them the Panama Total Access Pass. Panama Total Access Pass is a different product that you don't take the tour, but you still get all the information as if you did get the tour, and you get our expert help throughout the whole process. So that is who we are, and we're going to get right into questions. I'm going to remove that. There we go. And Noah, we're training him to be our driver soon. Well, yeah, no, he's a bit young, but he's
Only 15 years to go.
yeah. Okay, so I'm at the top of the questions, and Leaf is starting off with a big one. This is to our Canadians. Do most of your Canadians who move from Canada decide to become non-residents for the purpose of taxation? No, Leaf. Most of them don't. Most of them just don't need to. Typically, if you move here on your retirement income, being your pensions, there's no real need to become a non-tax resident of Panama. In fact, it'll cost you a little more if you do, because becoming a non-tax resident of Canada will withhold 25% of your pensions. And that means you never have to file again. You never have to talk to the CRA, or as you US folks call the IRS. But still, you don't want to lose any money. But if you're in a higher tax bracket because of other investments or income coming in from different things, yes, sometimes it's better to become a non-resident. I became a non-resident my second year here because I moved here when I was 47. I was in my income producing years. I looked ahead to when I was getting my pensions and realized, I'm going to have enough. I'm going to be taxed pretty high anyway, so it doesn't matter. I would just rather not deal with the CRA anymore. So we advise for our Canadian customers, we have the experts at our fingertips, depending on your level of finances, to walk you through that process of whether or not it's right for you to become a non-resident or not. And we got someone else. Hey, Dennis from Surrey, BC. Okay. Now, Sunday night in Boquete is going to be really busy. So you want to get out to the bars early. What do you think, Megan? Tap out? Mike's? Who else is going to have the game on?
Yeah, probably. I would say Mike's for them because they can walk over there really easily and it's not near the
Oh, yeah.
fair craziness.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah,
if they
tap
go
out's
towards
right
to
in
tap
the
out
fair,
towards the
right
fair,
there.
it'll be more crazy. But I don't think Mike's will be that busy.
Yeah.
Most
Mike's
people will be
Global
heading to the
Grill.
flower festival.
Mm-hmm. And Ruth says, hi, Noah. Betsy, do you want me to send your flight itinerary for the March Cherokee Highland tour?
Yeah, you can send it to me, Megan at retireandpanamatours.com. Say hi to Uncle Rod.
Mike and D, is it possible to move to Panama on a digital nomad visa and change it to a pensionable visa? Technically, yes. Well, I'm going to tell you to begin with, Mike and D, the digital nomad visa is not a good visa. It is only a temporary visa, maximum of 18 months. But if you're right at that point, like let's say 18 months before you started to collect your pensions, you could do it. You're going to spend about $5,000 doing it. It's actually only a 9-month visa. Then you have to get an extension for 9 more months. And the amount of paperwork they require to prove that you earn the income, and for 2 people, it's $48,000 a year. You have to show that you're earning or have been earning. It's a bit of a hassle. Sometimes it's almost better for people to come down here for 180 days, go home for a bit, like go back to your country for a bit and come back down again for another 180 days. It all depends on that timeline, Mike and D, of how much time you have between your receiving your pension and when you want to start. So that's why I say it's not the best visa, but I've known people who have done it for those 18 months. But then after that, you have to leave the country for 30 days and start the application again. Like a whole new application with all the new paperwork that's within 6 months. You got to do the background check again and all that stuff. Mm-hmm. How big is Carnival, and do different areas celebrate differently? That's coming up. When is Carnival, Megan? Do you remember?
In February, usually,
Yeah.
usually around mid-February. And yeah, I mean, there are definitely hubs for big carnival celebrations. Like the interior of the country, the Asuero Peninsula is really well known for the carnival celebrations like parades, the big water trucks, the partying. Um, but you will see tourism increase all over the country just because it's holiday. So even if people don't want to go to the party hubs, maybe they'll still go to other destinations. Like Boquete does not celebrate carnival. We don't have the parades, but people will still come into town because they just want to spend the weekend away vacationing somewhere.
Yeah,
So
there's two types of carnival people: the people going to carnival and the people running from carnival.
yeah. Yeah, I think for most people it's like a once in a lifetime experience and then it's like, okay, that was a lot. But there are areas of the country that do a more mellow version of it.
Yeah, here
Just
in
nice
Cherokee
parades.
we have carnival in Dolega, halfway between Boquete and David. So the people can still go to carnival if they want. For those of you who don't know, carnival is celebrated the 4 days before Lent, and this year that
It's like
starts.
Mardi Gras.
Yeah, Lent is the 18th of February. So basically, it's the 14th, 15th, 16th, 17th, and well, it starts winding down on the 18th. And people go back to work on the 19th or 20th. Okay. Colin's coming on the January 22nd tour and arriving early. What do you suggest as pre-tour scouting? Oh,
Yeah,
tell them
Colin.
about the Panama Day that we do.
Yeah, well, I have, Colin. Actually, I've sent you an email today because I was looking for your flight itinerary and your plans for your trip because Colin just signed up. He just got the last spot that we had become available on that tour last minute. So call me or email me, Colin. Look, I sent you an email today from Megan at Retire in Panama Tours. I want to help you plan any pre-tour or post-tour plans that you have and make sure that we have you booked in at any extra nights at hotels and all of that.
Perfect. Hey, Leaf, do you have experts that help Canadians? It's when you come with us, whether it's on a tour or a Panama Toll Access Pass, you have access to all of our experts. Now, our tax experts, these are people, one of them runs a CPA firm in Vancouver, and the other is a well known financial expert, been on many finance TV and radio shows in US and Canada. And those people, I'm sorry for the rest of you, they're exclusive to our clients just because they're kind of semi-retired, but they both live here in Panama. And depending on your needs, they will walk you through that. They also provide your first 45 minutes to an hour is at no cost to you, no obligation to what services and what advice and the questions you have. Now you say, how much should a person budget? If you're getting a pensionado visa, you should, for a single or couple, you should budget between $2,000 and $3,000 for that visa. That's all the prices. I can't tell you what else, because if you're coming down here and you're looking for a rental, you're obviously going to need first and last, maybe last month and deposits. You're like you got your travel, you got maybe moving some stuff. So everyone's different. You could spend $1,000, you could spend $10,000 doing your move. Any thoughts on that, Megan? That I didn't talk about, like budgeting for a move.
No, those are the main things. If you're going to buy a car, and maybe some paperwork things, like if you're going to get the e-cedula too, make sure to include that in the quote with your lawyer. If you want to help them, have them help you with getting your driver's license authentication, getting that done. Um, if there's anything, do you have a rental? Are you purchasing a home? Does it
A
come
car,
furnished? Is it
yeah.
fully furnished or just partially furnished? Um, so those types of things.
You always find Panama's. It's not like the U.S. at all, folks. So you see a place, you rent a place furnished, and you get there and you realize the bedrooms don't have end tables, like on either side of the bed. There's no end tables, or there's no the living room sparsely furnished. Doesn't have a coffee table. It does. Many people, once they move here, their first trip are to the big box stores to go shopping because they want a
Or
little more.
minimal kitchenware.
Yeah, exactly. I remember the first place that I moved into was fully furnished. Well, it had one set of dishes. When I say a set, that means a plate, a cup. So the first time I invited some people over, I had to get them to bring their own servings, their own table servings. Please bring plates and knives for yourself.
Yeah. And it's not like that everywhere. We're just saying be thorough when you're finding out about the rental you're about to sign a contract on.
I would say the most affordable expat communities on the beaches are, Megan.
Most affordable. I
Because
guess
we're
the more local Panamanian style, the more affordable it's gonna get. Definitely like the lowest cost beachfront is gonna be like Puerto Armuelles.
Mhm.
I think that's where you'll see the best prices in the country. Besides that, I would say it's similar. I mean, you can be near any beach, and then just pick your housing based on your budget. Like
Exactly. Mhm.
like the American style housing, a brand new condo, that's going to be a higher cost. But if you're good with like Panamanian style housing, a little bit lower budget or lower on finishings, maybe a little bit further from the beach, then you can get some better prices. Home is going to be the main expense that you can kind of work with.
Mhm.
But, the living expenses is where I think a lot of people save here. You're not, especially like on the beaches, are you running AC full time or not? That would be an extra expense. But like just day-to-day living costs will be a lot less expensive.
I'll give you guys an example. Everyone's heard of Coronado. Coronado is not a town. Coronado is a walled gated community approximately 3 kilometers south of the town of Las Lajas, Panama West. Coronado is expensive. You're starting at $1,000, $1,200 for anything there. But there are homes in the Las Lajas on the north side of the highway that are closer to the big grocery stores and pharmacies and doctor's office that are half of that price. Now you're going to see on the tour different styles of housing. If that's living in a home like that's acceptable to you, you can live close to the beach for $600-$700. And those places are in Chatre and Las Tablas and places like that. Might not be in North American, like it's not granite countertops or stainless steel appliances in your kitchen. I can guarantee you that. All depends on what you're looking for. Jay Barnes, I'm glad you brought this question up because I would like, I've had a few people email me about this and a lot of concerns. Is there anything to worry about? Absolutely not. Venezuela is not next to Panama. Venezuela is, if you look at a map, it's actually in Boquete. I believe the tip of Florida is closer than Venezuela. So, and Panama's government, since the last couple of years, has not really been in good with Venezuela's government because Venezuela had free and fair elections in 2024, but the winner was not handed over. And a lot of reasons why many Venezuelans are in Panama now because they're escaping that government. Now, I'm not going to comment on what happened, whether I think that was right or wrong, but our president said it very smartly. He said he believes in the experiment of democracy and free and fair elections and transition of power. That didn't happen in Venezuela. So that was, I'll say it was a criminal act. He is that president is only recognized by places like Russia, China, Cuba, places like that, like the president Maduro that was removed. So there is no problem you being from the United States here. In fact, many of the Venezuelans are going to, thank you. It's as simple as that. And so no, so there are no. Panama was not involved in that in the slightest way. There are no airplanes taking off from here. There's no activity near here whatsoever. So I hope that clarifies that. Okay. Can you apply for the pensionable visa if we don't have government pensions and just have personal savings? We won't have CPP to start. Nope. You must have a pension. The name it pensionable visa, you must be collecting any type of pension. It can be private pension, it can be government pension. It must be a pension for life, and you must already be collecting. What some people have done because they have the money to do it, because they have the investments, they go buy like a mutual life annuity for $250,000. That gives them, $1,200 a month in guaranteed money for life. That type of annuity can be used as a pension. It's more difficult, and it has to be. Don't go buying one without talking to a lawyer here first, a reputable one that can guide you on which one's going to be accepted and which one isn't, because they're going to need letters from the company regarding its financial solvency and whether or not they're going to be able to pay you for life, stuff like that. Okay. Hey, Peggy, let's talk about this, Megan. A list of common problems expats face here. You go first.
Yeah, I would say there are a lot. We not as many for our expats that we help move here, because obviously we try and set them up as best as possible. But like, say everything went well as far as immigration, getting your paperwork, your license, all of that stuff went well. You found a good lawyer, you got that done. Now you're here. I would say housing is a big thing. Like, if you didn't have somebody like supporting you, a reliable agent in your rental or housing search, then, or you found something without good support or without boots on the ground, that can be challenging for people, just because the expectation is so different on housing. If you haven't spent a lot of time in Latin America or in countries outside of North America, housing is a lot different in other areas of the world, including here. So it's just totally different building standards. So people will get freaked out about like a propane tank inside the house, or a hot shower that's connected to the outlet inside the shower. And just things, yeah, things like that. So getting familiar with that and knowing what you want and what you don't want for housing, I think, is important. um Setting up your expectations right, and I would say getting used to the local culture and language as well. So it can be frustrating not being able to communicate with everyone. Learning some basic Spanish will definitely help. Getting familiar with translating apps that can help you. And then realizing that things just work differently here. It's a way slower pace of life. So the more you can get with the way of things down here, the happier you're going to be.
Perfect. Let me bring up, we run the Expats in Boquete Facebook group, and there's a recent post on there. I'm not going to show it because that's I don't like exposing people's names. Nice guy, nice couple. They're new here, but he posted this. So they weren't prepared as they thought to move here. So many days and so many things that us US citizens take for granted after a lifetime of just knowing things, we didn't even think about moving here. Simple things that shouldn't be hard. You just can't run to the gas station for propane. You might have to go to several just to find what you're looking for. people will tell you to go to the Chinese grocery store, and you have no idea which ones. Should you get the 200 gallon? I think you meant pound tank. And for it was a simple thing. Throughout the 2 months they've been here, he's been posting almost every day. And our members try to give them as much help as possible, but most of the help on Facebook is not quality help. Put it that way. The people, there are a few people that are giving quality help within the Facebook groups, but they're few and far between, and they get drowned out. For someone to comment, go to the Chinese stores. Okay, that's not an answer. The guy wants to know he couldn't find a propane tank exchange place. It's very simple. Where do you live? You go here, 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 and here. Give him the answer. Don't just say go to a Chinese store. That just, first of all, sounds bad. But I'm going to tell you guys right on this call, they call them chinos here, and there's nothing. It's not a racist word here, but it's just the way the Panamanians speak, and it's just the way it
A
is.
lot of the convenience stores throughout the country are owned by Chinese. So
Yeah.
they just, instead of calling it the tienda, they call it the chino.
Mm-hmm. So
And it's so true. Like you have to, it's not like we don't have super Walmart. A
yeah,
lot of times you have to shop around to find what you're looking
yeah, he
for.
actually goes in there. Like there's no Home Depot here and there's no Lowe's, so you got to go to Coaches or Yvonne, and then you go to 3 more places, and then you finally find what you're looking for. Buy 3 of them because they might not be there next time. We don't have 350 million people in this country, so we don't have as many options and supplies as you might think. Things you like might be on the shelf, but if Heinz sugar-free ketchup is on the shelf, I buy 6 because I know it's not going to be there next time I go. So but that's what our company is about. We offer unlimited support to our guests during the move and once they're here. They just send us, like, once they're here, they send an email or a WhatsApp to one of us. Hey, I need the blue propane tank. Where do I go? We're just going to tell them where to go. We know exactly where to go for it. And or if they want a specific store, or if they need to see a dentist, they also have access to our members area, which answers a lot of those questions. Like, where should I rent a car from? What is the procedure? Why do I have to pay insurance? We have all that information to them. And I hope this couple, who seem to be a very, very nice couple, really find what they aren't guests of ours. I've never met them. But they've certainly been having a lot of challenges since they moved here, because things are totally not like the US. Hey, Jay. Great. You come in March. You got that last spot in that tour. Okay. Yes, Greg, the annuity angle. Like I said, you must be very specific about what annuity you're buying. If it's from one of the major life insurance, then you're probably pretty good with it. But if it's from an obscure company that Panama's never heard of, then can we buy a CD 60% Panama invested, and that's acceptable for someone to come in, not on a pension, using that as our money? Well, you can come in on the Friendly Nations visa. You don't need to come on a pensionable visa, especially if you're already over 55 or 60 or close to it, because you're still going to get the discounts no matter what visa you come on. And Panama has a CD program where certified deposit, where you put $200,000, $205,000 for a couple into one of the Panama bank accounts, and they pay you interest every month. Currently, you're going to get somewhere between 4.5% to 5.5% interest on that. So you're going to get $800 a month on that, and you must keep it for, they say 2 years, it's actually 3, because the CD programs are 1, 2, 3. They don't have like a 2.5. And it takes you 2.5 months, years to get the Friendly Nations visa because it's a two-step process. As opposed, I saw someone asked earlier and I missed it. The Friendly Nations visa takes about 6 months.
Pensionato takes about 6 months.
Yes, U.S. VA military disability pensions count towards the pensionado visa. Mm-hmm. And it can be for a married couple. It can be a combination of visas. Let's say you're getting pensions. Let's say you're getting 800 from one. Let's say the husband's just started his Social Security, is getting 800, but the wife has a teacher's pension of 1,000. Well, then you just, but you need 1,250. Then you just use both of them. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I would also mention like about the VA pension for the pensionado visa. The nice thing about that is if you get the pensionado visa, a lot of times we have veterans that are a lot younger than the retiree age. But if you come in on the pensionado visa, you immediately get all of those pensionado discounts in Panama, which is a great benefit.
So we got a bunch of people asking the same question. I'll answer it in one. The most common visas in Panama is U.S. Social Security and Canada Pension or OAS. Those are the most common, but private pensions work. All military pensions work. And when I say a pension, it has to be a pension for life. And when you convert a life insurance plan to an annuity, it actually becomes a pension for life. And so, no, Mike and the RRIFs from Canada are not pensions. Okay, there we go. Every once in a while we get this question. I love it.
Yeah. Yeah. So they will tell you that yes. You'll see, you know, the lidded trash cans in all of the public bathrooms in most homes because people are throwing their toilet paper into the trash instead of into the toilet. And a lot of people will tell you to do that just because it is expensive and inconvenient to get the tank pumped and people don't want to pay to do it. Other than that, and then some people they just don't have the proper system. They don't have a good septic system.
If your house was built in 1970, you might have 2-inch toilet pipes. You might be doing that, but all 80s, 90s, and above houses all have proper plumbing. Just it's very expensive to pump your septic tank. You seldom see a septic tank truck here, and everyone's on septic.
Yeah.
So Sandra is on the January 15th tour. Now, you seem to have quite a bit of pensions. So you only need the pensions that get you to $1,250 a month for a couple. You don't want to bring in any of the other pensions because they're just not required. That kind of money, $5,000 and above, there's really nowhere you couldn't live in Panama besides maybe one of the penthouse apartments on Balboa Avenue. Yes, it's a good. You'd have a good lifestyle if you're renting $2,000 a month for rent, a few $100s a month for healthcare, food. Like you would live good. The biggest savings, folks. I always show this when we're on tour. We invite people into our homes. I always have my current utility bills sitting on the coffee table. And back in Boquete, I would take them out. I don't want people to think I'm bullcrapping them. I take them out and I hand them out to the people, and I'll ask them to read them. They're all in Spanish, so they figure it out, but they see my name on it. So my electrical the month before was $25. My cell phone was $22. My high-speed internet, 500 megabyte fiber, is $33. I don't have bills for it, but my gas, propane gas that runs my stove, my dryer, and my hot water is $5 a month, folks. It's subsidized by the government here. It's ridiculous. And water bills in Boquete are paid by the owner of the house once a year. And last year's was $84. So your water bill is $7 a month. So,
and that's usually paired with trash too, right?
Yes. Yeah. Water and trash pickup. Here, I recently moved out to Delega. Now just can't get organized with my trash because I got to pay $1 a bag. So my trash is going up like $4 at least, Megan. So I don't know how to handle it. I know, but it's that stuff. In 2012, when I moved here in Vancouver, my average utilities, that includes my phone service and my internet, was $700 a month because I had heat all winter and air conditioning all summer. And up in the mountains, you just don't have that. I have air conditioning now. I expect my air conditioning to go up by $100 a month. And if you live on a beach, expect that too. Mhm. It could be
Rod, I
200.
think you're getting the gringo price. When I lived out there, it was 25 cents a bag.
I know. Yeah, but I do buy those super big, giant, lawn
Extra
bags.
large bags.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, the neighbor across the street told me how much it was. It's a private guy in his pickup.
Okay. Yeah, it's a smaller community. Okay, our daughter is 44 and will not be a digital nomad. Can she use the CD option as income to become a resident? You have to put $200,000 in a CD for almost 3 years during the process of residency. After those 3 years, she can use that money however she wants and she'll have permanent residency. But for those 3 years, that $200,000 has to stay in the CD.
Yeah.
The interest she earns is usable income during that time. And she has the option of switching to a real estate option if she changed her mind and wanted to purchase real estate here within the process. But yeah, that's how much money she would have to put into Panama to get the permanent residency.
Mhm. And if she can bring her family, if she has a family too, a spouse is an extra 500, and kids under 18 are, sorry, an extra 5,000, and kids under 18 are, or in school are an extra 5,000. Okay, John asks, do you know if MBE eShop will be open for business as usual tomorrow? No, they will not, John. January 9th in Panama, it's called Martyrs Day. It's a holiday based on an event that happened in 1964, January 9th, 1964, where the Panamanians were struggling for a bit more of their independence over the Canal Zone, and a flag scuffle ended up with some Panamanian kids at the school being shot by the U.S. military, which created quite scene and riots and stuff like that. And so today we all sit back and remember, and let's just not let stuff like that happen anymore. That was 1964. That was the year I was born. That was a long time ago. Hey, Judy, yes, I should clarify that, Judy. If you're on a disability pension, whoever's administering that disability pension has to say that pension is for life. Yes. It can't be a temporary disability pension. Mhm.
Is it the norm to buy it or rent a car when required? Location is probably a factor. Yeah, of course. So not all people that move here end up getting a car. If you are on a good public transportation route or you're in a city that has regular Ubers and taxis, then maybe you don't need it. Or some people do e-bike or like to walk. Um, but if you do get a car, most people will end up buying just because renting will get expensive. It could be anywhere from $800 to $1,500 a month to rent a car,
Yeah.
depending what you're renting and who you're renting from. So most people will end up buying, even if they're gonna stay for up to 6 months, maybe. Sometimes we'll just say, it might be better to buy a car and then sell it at the end of the 6 months because you're going to save a lot of money compared to putting all of that into a rental for 6 months. Um, we have, Oscar helps people buy cars. lightly used cars, mainly in Panama City, because that's where the best options are. And yeah, that there's a lot that I could get into about it. We can even actually, I think we're putting out an article soon with a little bit more about buying a car. So, um, but yeah, you just want to know that it's totally different than the United States. We don't have a Carfax here, where you can just see the full report on the car. You definitely want to take a good mechanic with you to inspect a used car you're looking to buy. The big dealerships have certified pre-owned. That's another good way to do it. But definitely get somebody that you trust to help you if you're looking at buying a lightly used car. Sometimes you'll find a really good deal with expats if they're selling a car or leaving the country. Um, but they're just totally different. Even if it's the same model or if it's called the same car here, a lot of times it's a totally different model. It's the Latin American version, not the US or Canadian version. So, um, yeah, just it's a different car market, but we do have pretty good prices. So we would say typically it's not worth it to ship your car down here. Also, they're different. So fuel is different, the emissions are different, parts are different, so it's actually better to get a car here and just get something that is common, that the mechanics will know how to work on, that they can get parts here. Typically we say stay away from European and Chinese models because they're not as common or they're newer. So it's more difficult to fix them.
Yeah,
Stick to
European
more.
doesn't have the parts, and the Chinese just aren't proven yet. We don't know what their warranties are going to look like because they've only been selling them for 2 years. So,
Yeah.
but definitely, if you want to live here without a car, it certainly can be done. There's taxis and buses everywhere. And I know many people without a car that do rent one once a month for 2 days. They spend $100 for 2 days and they go to Price Mart and do all their errands or go to the beach or do whatever. So, mhm.
Yeah, lots of great private drivers too.
Okay, Laura asks, even if you can't work, are you allowed to volunteer? Absolutely, Laura. Which you cannot do in Panama as a pensionado, pretty well, exclusively, pretty well, guys. There are some minor, marry a Panamanian, have a child. Yes, you could work as a pensionado, but those are pretty obscure. You cannot take the job of a paying job of another Panamanian. So definitely, if you work from home and you do your own thing and you sell to the US or Canada and services, not a problem. Or volunteer opportunities are endless in Panama. Run through some of those, Megan, volunteer stuff. I
Yeah,
don't have
so
any.
many. A lot of the expats like to volunteer with the animal organizations, Dog Camp, Amigos de Animales. They do these huge spay and neuter clinics in various areas of the country where it's really low cost spay and neuter for anyone's dogs or cats. That's a great one. And helping dogs and cats get fostered or adopted. And then a lot of health, like there's Boquete Health and Hospice here in Boquete, which helps anyone who needs medical assistance or medical equipment after surgery or something like that. Um, Also, the Buenos Vecinos, there's a lot of like good neighbors organizations that collect money and um, donate to the most vulnerable in the community. There's Rotary Club. There is like knitting club that donates knitted items to families who have babies in the public hospital that don't have anything to wrap them in or take them home in. There's so many different opportunities here. There's more nature type stuff like the save the turtles. They protect the baby turtle nests. Lots of good
Cool.
stuff.
All right. Sandra, keep your questions coming, guys. We only have about 10 more minutes, but I think we're running out of questions, so keep it coming. Sandra, we'll be coming with 2 cats. What the process for bringing pets and best way to transport them from Texas? Well, Sandra, I'm not going to go into the complete process because that would be an entire Q&A. In fact, if you look at our YouTube channel, you will find different Q. The last one I did, I think, was in August. I'll be doing another one shortly. I also want to mention, before I answer your question, Sandra, we want to do some specialized Q&As in January and February. For those who want to learn about a specific topic, type it in the chat. And I'm going to take note of them and write them down. I have a few. I want to do a singles Q&A, Megan, with all, anyone single. We get that question. Do singles come on your tour, or do singles move to Panama? Yes. 25%.
Yeah, very common question.
But
Yeah.
maybe there's other stuff you would like specialized Q&A on. Now, first of all, Sandra, the process for bringing pets, it's confusing, but not simple, but doable. 10 days before your flight, you need to see a USDA vet. They will file electronically with the USDA. They'll send you back that paperwork. You're in Houston. You will send that or take that paperwork, send or take it to the Panama consulate for authentication. Then you will board your flight. You can fly direct right out of Houston on United with your cat under the seat, or you can fly Copa out of Austin. Now, if you're a cat, big cat, and you need cargo, then you're not going to be able to fly out of Texas. You're going to have to fly out of Miami or Orlando or in Vegas. I know they're all 14-hour drives, but that is the process. What I'm going to do for you, Sandra, is put the link in the article on our website for bringing your pets to Panama from the USA and Canada, with the complete instructions there, how to do it. If you have any questions, I also popped the link into the chat just of our general website, which has contact button. You can learn about our tours and stuff like that. Andrew and Jennifer, how are ya? How far in advance of sending the pensionatal application to the government should we contact the lawyer? You should start working with the lawyer, guys, about, I would say 60 days, 24 hours, 3 minutes. How long is it, Andrew? What's the clock say? So about minimum 2 months. You want to retain an excellent lawyer. Usually their retainers are cheap, like $700 or something like that. Get them to do the advice, and especially for you guys, get a lawyer. Well, we will connect you. You're on our tour, but that's experience with Canada because their procedures are a little different than the U.S. So minimum 2 months. You can, we can say 3. That's not like you can't start too early. The lawyer's just going to talk to you and then say, okay, get back to us in a month, or your next step is to do this. So. Hey, Leaf. I'm going to tell you, don't buy real estate right away. I'm sorry. I just can't. Unless you've been here, unless you know the area you want to live in, that's fine. If you've done your exploring and you actually know where you want to move, there's so many people that house for sale. I've lived there for 4 months. Well, they didn't like it. Okay. Like it was an area that didn't work for them. So you're allowed to stay here 180 days if you're from North America. Okay. So you don't have to rush into something before you start your visa. Actually, probably you're looking at 150 days and then start the visa. So you got lots of time to shop around, find the perfect place, rent for a few months, find the area you like, get connected to the right real estate agents, the right real estate lawyers. Don't jump. So many people jump. They lose money. If you buy something, you might buy it quick. You probably won't sell it quick. Things are on the market here still up to a year. So, yes, that makes it a buyer's market. But, so some people also, if you want to start, if you haven't found nothing, start the process with the CD. then when you do within those 2 years, that way you have the money here within those 2 years. The banks are very cooperative and giving people short-term loans on that money to close your friendly nations visa with the real estate. So that you can do. You start with the CD, cash in the bank, and you end up closing the getting a permanent visa with the real estate.
And remember, as a North American, you can stay in Panama for up to 180 days at a time. So, as a tourist. So, if you do really want to do real estate, you can spend a few months here and really find what you want and what you like before purchasing. But you do want to be working with your lawyer when you're thinking of purchasing that for the purpose of friendly nations. You don't want to purchase there's a timeline there where you can't let too much time go by with a purchase and then try and use it for friendly nations.
Yeah. So you want to use. I'm trying to open a new history here. You want to use the same lawyer for the real estate as you're using for the friendly nations. It works best. Sorry, it is. Now we're going to give you a little gift here, guys. I don't always do this on these Q&As. I just put in a link to the chat, and you're welcome, and we will connect you with our preferred lawyer, Panama City, Boquete, stuff that worked perfect. Best real estate lawyer, best immigration lawyer in the country. And they know how to get this done. Mm-hmm. Okay. Are there any churches that are bilingual or have services in English? Depending on denomination, the Catholic Church has Mass at 9 a.m. in Boquete. And what's that church on the corner? I can't remember. I lived in Panama City 2 years. I don't know the street names. A really nice big white one downtown. It also has an English Mass. Now we have evangelical.
I can't remember the name.
We have the Boquete Bible
Fellowship.
Yeah. They have an English service or bilingual service, English and translated into Spanish. There's one in Coronado called, I don't know. You will find them. I don't know about the smaller towns or even places like David. But I do know that the Catholic Church in Panama City here in Boquete have English masses. Mm-hmm. I'm laughing at your joke there, Andrew. That's fine. Okay. For temporary residency, like through the friendly nations, do you automatically get permanent if you follow the rules and pay the fees? Yes, you do. Can they deny you permanent residency? Not unless you've committed a serious crime, like felony style in the U.S. If you got a speeding ticket, no, they're not going to deny you residency, so yeah. So once you get your temp, because I know it is a long period of time. There is the other option, the other visa, the qualified investors visa. That's $100,000 requirement more. So if you're looking at property that's in the 300,000 and above, that visa you can get a permanent visa in a month. I've never seen no one get it. It's more like 6 weeks. So, but yeah, it's a lot quicker than 2.5 years. But it costs more, almost double, to get, and you must keep the investment for 5 years. It also has that requirement. Or you must keep an investment of the same amount for at least 5 years, meaning you have to have another 300 to buy something else. Hey, Melanie, you're going to get your book on day one when you arrive. They're looking all over. Do I have a book? A lot of people, they see our website. I had somebody comment that, oh, you get an ebook. No, folks. This is about 500 pages of knowledge about Panama. And as part of our Panama Total Access Pass, it's also given to every person that goes on our tour. Plus, you get a complete members area that you can go to once. I'm giving one of my previews, Megan.
Nice.
Anyone's got a recording device, turn it off. Just kidding. So on our website, once you're a member, I don't know, you will get access to the members area. And in this members area, we have monthly only Q&As. We're going to announce that January date. We updates, immigration, health insurance, rentals, real estate law, moving your belongings. These are all contacts in every area that you could need contacts in. And the biggest contact button is any question you have, because we got some unique ones. I'm helping somebody move. Somebody requested assistance moving precious metals. Now, that's not something we had the question last week. I don't get into details on it on the Q&A or in public, because this has to do with security trucks and arriving at the airport and delivering it to a special place. And we have those services also. So okay. Last questions, Jay Barr. So there are many Bajas in your area? What's a Baja?
I don't know. Bahia?
No, it's just Baja.
Ba-
Bajas
Baja.
is it? Yeah, not sure what
Sorry.
that is. Maybe you can clarify that one. All right, it is 8:00, Megan. We are done. Nice crowd tonight, guys. Thank you for all joining us.
Perfect amount of questions.
Yes. Ooh, well, we did answer them pretty quick. So we are, again, I'm reading here, any special Q&As people would like. Maybe I'm going to put that up in an email too. We'll do another pet relocation one. Maybe Oscar and Megan will do a car one in February. We have a pretty slow February, don't we? Yeah. Well, there's only one tour. So.
Slower. Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
Okay. Buenas noches.
Buenas noches.
See you guys next week.
See you guys next week. Same time, same place.